Alright, looks like we're live for Fireside Chat number 157. So, not a ton of news. I did add a party game players role, as Ulfold has kicked off that event, so that's happening. I have to check the calendar myself here, but you can always check that for events, of course. 5 p.m. Pacific on Saturdays. I believe Liger is hosting it um, this coming Saturday, the 26th. But that's 5 p.m. Pacific time every Saturday, and there is a role you can get with the in the rules channel via reacting to get roles, party game players, which I added there, and yep. I didn't add a channel for it, but the role is there at least, so you'll get pings. Let's see. I believe I already talked about the Hjorthing marks being out last week, but you can check those out in announcements. I will be adding some new ones, as those of you in Command Center will have seen. I wanted to add some new game service marks. I think at this point, based on what I've heard, I'll probably be doing World of Tanks and Warships, StarCraft, and League of Legends, and possibly EVE Online. So 4 to 5 of those I'll be adding, which a lot of people should be eligible for. I think the big thing is asking people to get profiles, so it's pretty easy. I'm the one that does all the work, but you do have to apply. So basically, if you go to the profiles channel in library or marks, they both have a link there. Um, oh, seems to not be pinned in profiles. Unless my Discord is not working. So let me pin that real quick. That's one little problem. There we go. Okay, so there's a request a profile / marks spreadsheet that anyone can edit. So you just have to open it up and put in your info there. So I'll open it up now. And if you go to the marks channel, you can see a list of all marks. This will need some updates with the 4th Hjorthing marks and the service marks for the different games. So I will be adding those, and that will probably require a update on the whole marks channel. Just take a little bit of time, but that will be forthcoming once I have those service marks made. But if you open up the spreadsheet here, you can see request marks and a profile, request a profile / marks. There's one page, mark requests. And basically, you fill out the information here. And I'm going to resize this a little bit because I'm seeing now doesn't quite fit entirely. Let's see if we can do that. There's no borders, which is kind of strange. Let me fix this. I don't know. Oh, okay, now I see them. Let's just add some bigger borders so it's a little easier to see here. I know it's not on the stream, but you can click the link in the channel and check it out in the marks or profiles channel on Discord. For some reason I'm blind. There we go. Okay, that should be pretty clear. Yeah, so you don't have to put much. You just have to put your name, image you want for the background of your profile. As an example, you can see the profiles channel and see how things look. To give you an idea of the size, of course, you can always talk to me if you are curious, have questions about that. The border color. So if you look on the profiles, they all have a consistent color around the whole border of the profile there. So they all have that little, like the same pattern for the nameplate and such. The color of your name is your house color. The border for your house coat of arms is your house color. The border for your rank is orange for WA. And yeah, so you do have to kind of tell me which marks you should have, and I can try to help you with that. But that's kind of the work that you have to do, is read through the marks channel and just figure out which ones you should have. And don't worry if you request ones that you don't actually have, or you shouldn't have, or you don't know. It's fine. The goal is just to try to help me as much as possible with some of the work of figuring out which marks you should have. So the emblems, as are kind of described there, are sort of special. Those are pretty rare, usually just given out um, to specific members based on, big achievements and accomplishments overall. So they're a bit closer to titles than to the rest of the marks. So normally you would not request those. They would just be given out. That said, there are ways to suggest or recommend people for emblems. Those are detailed in rules, but usually if you, that's something that if you're either an IR or an officer, you can do. Just talk to me with who you think should have one and which emblem you think they should have. But yeah, and then you can put in any extra instructions if you want, which could be questions or some way you want the image to be cropped, stuff like that. And yeah, so you can see the example there in that spreadsheet, and that makes it pretty clear. So that's some of the stuff coming up right now. There's some other things I want to do, a little bit of a rules update, including something I'm probably going to do is revamp the React roles system. Now, don't worry, this isn't going to get rid of anyone's roles, but the problem is that creating an emoji for every single game that we have on the server is starting to get a little bit unwieldy. We have a lot of games. So I think probably what I will do is just start using some of the pre-built Discord emojis. For example, like the boat one, use that for World of Warships. The tank one, use that for World of Tanks, etc. As much as possible. If there's none that just make any sense, like, I don't know, Valorant, maybe, I don't know, then I'll leave some of the emojis, but my hope is that that will free up a little bit of space because we have a limited number of slots for those on the server. So stuff like the party game players, which uses the partying emoji that Discord already has, is nice because it doesn't take up an extra slot. So yeah, I think that's plans. I know I've talked previously about some stuff for House Dippity that I would like to get done. There's quite a lot to do. If you do want to assist, I would say anyone wanted to help, that would be great. Biggest thing is going to be there's some threads on the forums that I would like to get filled out. There's a houses and families thread, and there's also a special forces thread. Both of those, I would like to get all the information for those filled out. So if you would like to assist, either talk to the people who know that information, or if you know that information, send it to me so I can put it in those threads. Additionally, I would like to get updates as far as a visual guide to each house's traditions and culture, and lineage chart updates. And some houses have already done this. If some haven't, if you'd like to help, then you can bother the lords and leaders of those houses and tell them to do it. Or if you are a lord or leader of a house, you can do it. And if you're an officer, would love more additions to the officer guide. It is pretty slim right now, but I'd like more ideas, thoughts, and that can be it's officer manual is what it's being called, and it's going to be advice, but also training, actual training, like protocols or exercises or anything like that for how we train up new officers. So it's going to contain all of that. So anything in that vein that you can think of, you can add. Even if it's just a small idea that I can refine further, somebody else can refine further, that's fine. It's much appreciated. And I think that is probably just about it. So I'm going to call it quits and then hop in for office hours in a little bit.